Hello everyone, I'm Andy Serwer. Welcome to Influencers and welcome to our guest, Mark Cuban. Mark, great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Mark, of course, entrepreneur, star of Shark Tank, owner of the Dallas Mavericks, and in fact, he's hosting us here today. We're at Dallas Mavericks headquarters here, right across the street.
Yep, right across from the arena.
From the arena, right. So, whole bunch of stuff to talk to you about.
Fire away.
But let's talk about this president thing.
Okay.
You know, that's out there. There are people who suggest that you should run for president. Maybe you have aspirations. I don't know, but it's a discussion point. So what would it take to have you run for president?
I'm excited about next year for the Mavs. It's going to be a great season.
Man. Come on, man. Don't get off track.
I don't even want to get into it. I mean, I did one quick interview and then all of a sudden it blew up. I don't want to feed the beast.
Right.
Like I said, if there's a certain set of circumstances that would push me to do it, but we're not there yet. So if and when it happens, you'll be the first to know, Andy.
Okay, that's very cool. What about the Democratic field? Is there anyone there that you think can challenge President Trump?
Well, I mean, there's now and then there's November of 2020. I mean, if the election were held today, I think Trump would win, right? I don't think that there's somebody that has the momentum or just the value of the incumbency that Trump has. But at the same time, between now and then, I think Joe Biden's got a good chance, and we'll see what happens with any of the field of 97 to see if anybody emerges or if anybody new comes in. I think Biden's capable of beating him, but we're not there yet.
You've been critical of President Trump before. Have you kind of made any peace with them? I mean, you know, it's been a couple years.
Yeah, I get along with them.
Right.
I mean, you know, we didn't have to make peace. You know, like any president, I agree with some things and disagree with other things. It's not personal. There's things I would do differently, and you know, but it was the same with Obama. It was the same with Bush. It was the same with Clinton. It's just that's just the nature of the beast.
So have you talked to him and given him any advice, or what advice would you give him?
I mean, I'm not a fan of the tariffs. You know, if I understand what he's trying to do in terms of battling China, I would approach it differently because I think tariffs are a tax on the American people. But at the same time, I think we have a variety of other leverage points. I'll give you the perfect example. Chinese companies listed on American exchanges have a market cap of more than $1.4 trillion. That's a lot of leverage right there. They're raising money via IPOs, something we can't do in China. I'd shut down all Chinese IPOs. That's the first step. And given his propensity for using Twitter, and just as a kind of throwing warning shots, you know, I would throw out there that we might put a halt on the trading of Chinese listed stocks in the United States. Now, there are American shareholders, but the reality is that long term, the value of the company is the value of the company, but a trading halt would certainly create a lot of disruption for those Chinese companies. And I don't think it's untoward at all to reconsider, you know, treating Chinese companies like they do ours.
Right.
You know, we can't list on their exchanges. I don't know what the SEC is thinking, because given that every Chinese company has a connection in some way or another to the Chinese government, how does the SEC enforce any type of trading laws? Can you imagine if you're a big Chinese listed company and the government, someone high up in the government says, I need to make some extra money. Tell me how business is and what you're going to report. What's the SEC going to do to them, right? And so there's all kinds of enforcement issues that I think come up. And I'm not suggesting that that's what happens now, but we have no idea of knowing that it doesn't.
Have you ever run that by President Trump?
No, I have not.
Or anyone else in Washington?
I mean, I've talked to a lot of people in Washington about a lot of things, but I'm sure it's not something that I think has reached his level.